And in fact, today, as a Uyghur, I'm very happy to be here among my fellow Chinese friends, Tibetan and the Mongol friends, and other people, especially from mainland China, and who dedicate their lives for free, more human and a democratic China. And before focusing on the questions, I want you to show a few pictures. So that in here you can see Ilham Tohti, Wusa, and AWB. These pictures. Because of that one-party dictatorship system in East Turkestan and heavy-handed suppression towards the Uyghurs, and from every sphere of Uyghur life is under suppression, and the Uyghurs, they don't enjoy any kind of political rights. And one of the person who came up from Uyghurs was Ilham Tohti. He's an economist, and he tried to explain the situation, East Turkestan situation, to the government. However, unfortunately, as everybody knows, just because of his opinion and his great suggestion, if Chinese government understands that, and that that scholar, in fact, he just shut it off forever. He locked it up forever. But despite all this kind of propaganda, everything, you can see that there are still some people, our friends, who sympathize and understands the Uyghur situation, and definitely stood with them with Ilham Tohti, but still, because of the current Chinese government's heavy-handed suppression and the policy, again, whatever Ilham Tohti said is not heard from the government. Instead, he's just locked up forever. And also, I had this picture. He is a journalist from Shanghai, and he was wearing Uyghur Dobba and kind of expressing his solidarity towards the Uyghur situation, what's going on there, and which is very good despite all this negative propaganda about Uyghurs, and in fact negative propaganda about Uyghurs, especially among Chinese population. But still, there are people out there who understanding, who sympathize with the Uyghur situation, which is one of them is this journalist from Shanghai. And the second topic is I just wish to touch upon about the Uyghur economy. In terms of economic situation, although the East Turkestan has such rich resources in oil, gas, everything, but discrimination in different sites is very heavy. Like, for example, employment discrimination, definitely racial discrimination, and many other discrimination, you can say, touch upon it later on. In East Turkestan, primarily focused on natural resources and infrastructure required to transport in from west to east. State investment poured into the north. The Chinese government subsidized the regional budget by nearly $60 billion from 2000 to 2010. Again, encouraging Chinese migration as a contracted private companies, and SOEs prefer Han Chinese employees. And again, in terms of economic distribution and development, there never has been any consultation with the local people, the local Uyghurs. Always the decision is from the top, and in decision-making process, there are no involvement of any locals, any Uyghurs. In fact, what Ilham Tohti said before was about everything, the economic situation of the Uyghur, social as well as cultural situation of Uyghurs. Exactly what he said was, what's in East Turkestan? It's nothing that he has created, nothing new that he has invented. All he said was, this is the situation, the government should be watch closely about improving really the Uyghurs' life, Uyghur economic condition, Uyghurs' political rights, religious rights, and cultural rights. Just because of what he said, what's going on in East Turkestan, and that's what happened to him. So you can see there are no expression of any opinion, no expression of freedom, nothing for Uyghurs. And although there are lots of investment in Western development, this project, but none of them has benefited Uyghurs. And especially in employment opportunities in terms of that one, if you are Han Chinese, you have employment, but if you are Uyghur, there is nothing for you. But that also reported in other media as well. Okay, this is just a brief economic situation. And now let's talk about culture. In terms of culture, cultural discrimination is very heavy and strict towards the Uyghurs. And as you can, probably you have heard and you read recent news that just because of Uyghur women just wearing scarf sentenced for 2 years jail. And just a man growing beard for sentenced 6 years jail. And more than that, the most important, demolishing Kashgar was another serious and also terrible offense towards the Uyghur culture as well. Although the older Kashgar may be seen by CCP as a kind of mother houses or whatever, but for Uyghurs, it is the kind of essence of Uyghur culture and the heritage of Uyghur culture. The demolition Kashgar, in fact, shows that it is not just demolished a place, it is completely demolished a historic site and a historic the cultural heritage of Uyghurs. Sorry. And after demolishing and definitely forced relocations happened, and the forcefully removing Uyghurs from different places has happened. And add on that, they just built little place and made a tourism place. And again, that tourism was controlled by a company called Zhongkun. Again, the benefit goes to Chinese company. And another serious matter that rights violation of what CCP is doing is the bilingual education policy. The saying that the bilingual education, in fact, it sounds very nice because you become a bilingual. But in the matter of fact, what they're doing is completely monolingual, assimilating Uyghurs. That, again, Uyghurs see one of the huge, heavy attack towards Uyghur identity because Uyghur culture and religion is the main part of Uyghur identity. And another very destructive, the saying that the wording of Wang Lechen, what he said is the Uyghur language is backward, but it doesn't comply with modernity, which is saying that out of step of the 21st century. That's very offensive. But I was wonder whether Wang Lechen knows Uyghur language that will be able to judge that whether Uyghur language is out of step or not comply with modernism. I really wish to ask from Wang Lechen whether if he can say a few words in Uyghur or speak in Uyghur, that whether he would be able to judge that language is whether modern is not modern. So that kind of thing, you can see that it's clearly attack on Uyghur identity. What the Chinese government right now doing, attacking on religion of Uyghurs is in fact attacking on Uyghur identity because they knew the Uyghurs never alienate themselves from religion. The faith is one of the part of Uyghur identity. And in terms of religion, again, you can see this sign is publicly displayed in East Turkestan. You can read it from here. They're saying that you can't go to Hajj. You have to be with the group. And also, if you are not 18 years old, you are not allowed to go to the mosque. I mean, especially people who believes in God, who believes in something, faithful people. Imagine, whenever you want to be religious, it's your decision and it's in your heart. I don't understand why, how you could regulate one's belief or when they want to practice religion and when they don't. And this again clearly sees that they try to assimilate Uyghurs, and the Chinese government try to keep Uyghurs away from religion so they can easily doctrine what CCP wants them to be. So from that you can see that from religious aspect, linguistic aspects, economic, everything, the Chinese government just tried to make or see or portray Uyghurs as criminals. no matter what, as long as you're Uyghur, you're a criminal. Because you have such and types of criminal book, or illegal religious activities, or such and type of clothes types that you are wearing, which is not suitable to CCP's uniform kind of requirement that you're wearing clothes. So, anyway, the Chinese government tried to legitimize whatever repression they're doing towards the Uyghurs in many ways, that just saying that the Uyghur, you are just a criminal, making them the enemies of the state. Okay. Due to time, I just wish to come to the conclusion. And Chinese government, especially, Chinese government, CCP currently keeps saying that we have to keep stability, and we have to be stable. But for becoming stable, for becoming in peace, but you have to offer peace. You have to make people stable, feel stable. But right now, none of the Uyghurs feel stable, even feel safe in walking on the street, talking, even thinking, because everything is monitored, controlled by the government, as previous speakers also highlighted. And again, whatever happens to Uyghurs, it's again they try to blame Uyghurs for that. Never ever the Chinese government asked themselves, have we done anything wrong? Have we ever talked with these local people, what they think, what they want, what they wish? What do they want to do? So that's why I would say that the root cause of the problem is CCP. Their heavy-handed repression towards the Uyghurs, and instead of they treating Uyghurs as can be one of the best contributors towards whole China's peace and development prosperity, they're seeing them as enemies. Thank you. I just wish to briefly introduce this website as well as the treaty site. This was initiated by Uyghur Human Rights Project. We were in Chenchammo, here from Washington, D.C. The point is exactly what you said. We really want to communication between Chinese-speaking Chinese community as well as Uyghurs. And we established this website as well as through all social media, and we have Facebook page as well to communicate in Chinese language. Definitely, we need people like you and our friends in Taiwan who distribute as much as possible whatever have in here, especially the reports that we produce. And we have the English version of this site as well, but we had the Chinese one. It's been about a year now, not even a year. And what we're trying to do is reach out Chinese public as much as possible, whether they are in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in mainland China, even better. And I'm really glad that some Chinese people came from mainland. Thank you. I'm really admire your bravery, and it's not easy for you to come all the way from mainland China and to be in this meeting. And that's why this is a website, and also the treaty site if you wish to follow. The next one, Daniel, I'm sorry. And we try to update daily basis and voice all social sites as well as this website to reach out.